Hey everyone, my name is Sophie from Sophisticated Organization. Welcome back to another Sophisticated Saturday. I have my to-do list all written out here. So we are going to work through this together, get stuff done around the house. So if you're ready for it, we have some cooking, some cleaning, some laundry, and all the things to get done. So let's get going.
I'm in love with all your lights and your colors. I'm in love with all your nights.
First up on my Saturday to-do list is exactly what I'm doing right now, and that's recording a voiceover. I like to work in batches in really every area of my life, but especially when it comes to Sophisticated Organization and my small business. I try to edit a bunch of videos at once. I try to then record my voiceovers all at once. It makes it easier for me to keep my focus in one frame of mind and get a bunch of these similar types of tasks done and then move on to the next thing. So whether it's sitting down and sending a bunch of emails at once, or sitting down and writing a bunch of thank you notes together, or whatever your tasks are, chunk them together if possible, as opposed to writing one thank you note, then going to answer one email, then cleaning up a couple of dishes, then going up and folding half of your laundry, and then back down to answer a couple more emails. It slows down the process in my mind to keep switching back and forth between so many things. So this Saturday, I actually did a voiceover for 3 different videos. Another reason I do that is because I film in advance. I like to have a couple of videos filmed. So sometimes I film a video and I don't publish it for a couple of weeks just because life gets in the way. And when I get ahead of it, that way I can still have awesome videos to publish every couple of weeks. That way I can still have awesome videos to publish twice a week and can focus on having fun with my family or traveling or hanging out with friends. Whatever I have going on, then that can be the focus and I don't have to worry about filming a video if that's not something that fits into my schedule that week.
Under the sun, I'll be fine and you'll be gone when nothing's like home.
Finally got those voiceovers done, and I did not make my bed because this is one of the days I was going to wash our sheets. So no need to make your bed if you're going to wash your sheets that day. I just stripped the bed and then stuck those sheets in the washing machine.
To breathe, but I do my best to breathe. Some green and filled with this. Life is so much more than this. So where do you go when nothing's like home? I'm going for the gold. Turning off the cruise control.
Next up, I'm going to make some lunch, and I made this meal as easy as possible for myself. I already marinated my meat. I cut up the broccoli. I have the sauce made. Everything's all set to go, so it's just cooking it. What I'm making today is a skillet beef and broccoli ramen. The marinating process is a little bit of an ordeal with this beef, but oh my gosh, is the flavor so good. This is a guilty pleasure meal. I haven't made it in a long time, maybe a couple of years, but I have it in my recipe binder as one of our favorites. So I thought I would whip it out and surprise Jim and make this indulgent meal for us. The first step is to sear the beef on both sides in a little bit of oil. So I had to do that in 2 different parts just to get it all on one layer. I didn't want any of the beef overlapping, so I let that sear, flipped it over, and then put it to a plate to rest and did the same with the rest of the beef.
can't believe it's already over.
Now today I'm not including all of the ingredients and stuff on the screen because I'm not making the full recipe with you. I'm just kind of putting the rest of it together since I did most of it in advance, but I will link the recipe that I used in the description box below if you want to try this beef and broccoli ramen.
Tomorrow comes and you are not around, feels uneasy. Oh, Emily, when did you fall right out of love? Oh, Emily, when did the magic
Now that I have that second batch of beef flipped over, it's finishing up cooking, I am going to get a pot of water boiling so I can cook the ramen while I finish up the rest of the recipe.
it will kill me when you leave and close my door. Who said it'd be easy to be in love? Who said that
Next up, I poured the sauce that I made in advance into the skillet, got that boiling, added my ramen to the boiling water as well, and then I added the broccoli, covered it up so it could steam a bit, and if you've made ramen before, you know how quickly that cooks, so that didn't need long at all before I could take it off of the stove. Same with the broccoli, that doesn't need a lot of time. You just want to soften it up a little bit, then add the beef in so that can warm up. And once you drain your ramen, you can add that right back into the skillet, mix it all together, and you can easily top this dish. The recipe says with green onions, red pepper flakes, or sesame seeds. We just kept it simple and jumped right in.
you are the part of me I feel. It will kill me when you leave and close my door. Oh,
After our delicious lunch, I threw in Owen's load of laundry. I moved over the sheets to the dryer first, and as you can tell, his laundry basket is full. We're still washing his stuff twice a week, and he is filling up that laundry basket, so I think that's probably the right cadence for us at this point.
We're running out of
Since it worked out so well for me to make part of a recipe in advance, make that marinade for the beef beforehand, cut the veggies, I like meal prepping like that. So I'm going to do the same thing for some chicken and get that prepped with a bunch of spices and seasoning so I can have that marinade going for our next meal.
oh, counting days. I made it through without someone like you. We're running out of light. Time is changing day to night, and you keep asking why. I'm out of control.
This type of cooking is something that I think is really helpful, especially to do on Sundays, so you can make your weeknight cooking a lot easier. Some marinades are great to sit for 48 hours or something. If it's not a marinade that you're making, chopping veggies in advance, cutting anything possible, making sauces, anything that you can do in advance that can sit in the fridge for a little bit makes it a lot easier for me when I'm working full time now again to get a healthy meal that's homemade on the table at a reasonable time, especially when Jim gets home at about 5:30 from work. We're both starving, so I like to be able to stick something in the oven or on the stovetop and get that going while I finish up my last hour of work because I still work Denver hours. So when he comes home at 5, it's still 4 o'clock Denver time for me. So I typically need to keep working a little bit longer so I can throw something in while I finish up that last bit of work.
And my soul don't wanna be whole. For you, I'm just unknown, and you're not that someone who will find my heart and bring peace to my mind. So move on, oh, 'cause I will find the way on my own. Oh, I don't wanna be
As you can see, we've moved to doing a little bit of baby wearing. Owen was ready for another nap and wasn't quite there yet, and he loves being close to me, and I love having him close to me. So we like to do baby wearing on weekends or days that I'm fully with him, probably once a day, just because it's really nice to have him there and be able to get stuff done. So he was taking a nice snooze while I switched over the laundry and sat down in my office to get some label orders taken care of. He usually really likes the movement, and that helps him fall asleep as I'm walking around and getting stuff done. So I do a few things moving around first, and then he's typically okay and asleep with me sitting down and doing computer work or packing orders or whatever it might be. But if I sit down first and he's not in a deep enough sleep or he's not asleep yet, he's not a huge fan of baby wearing while I'm sitting down and not moving.
One thing I know for sure, what we have is something worth fighting for. With bad news knocking at my door, but I like it like that. We go all in and I'm falling, but I like it like that. And it's so wrong, but still so strong, but I like it like that. Now I'm catching fire, 'cause you take me higher.
Like I talked about earlier with the voiceovers and batching work together, that's something I do with my orders as well. I used to kind of just pause everything I was doing when an order would come in and start instantly working on it. Now I like to wait a couple of days. I think I still have about the same turnaround time, but it just makes it easier for me to have like 3 set days a week where I sit down and work on all of my orders and get them done all at once, and can make a little assembly line where I'm printing out the labels at once. It actually saves some vinyl paper and makes it easier on me, and probably less expensive to do it that way. And then I can also print all of the packing labels at the same time, stuff all of the packages at the same time. That's probably the reason that they created the assembly line, because it's more efficient to do it that way. So I've been enjoying doing just that.
But I like it like that. Now I'm catching fire, 'cause you take me higher. You know you're everything that I ever desire. And we crossing borders, now taking orders, and I like it like that. Even on broken watches, right 2 times a day. I took a chance and I was right in every way. For I got anything better for me to say. Hey, I like you like that, yeah, I like you like that. Yeah. Now I'm catching fire, 'cause you take me higher. You know you're everything that I ever desire. And we crossing borders, now taking orders, and I like it like that.
So I did have lots of label orders that I had to catch up on today, but I also had some other orders. I had some orders for my glass dry erase board, what I showed at the beginning of this video that I use for my to-do list. So I packed one of those with a whiteboard marker, of course their packing slip, and had to write a little handwritten thank you note. I love to include a little note just to thank you guys so much for ordering from me. It really does mean a lot. If you've ever heard that phrase, like when you order from a small business, like an actual person does a happy dance, that is what happens. I get a notification on my phone when I get an order, and it just makes me so happy knowing that you support me and you're interested in the products that I worked really hard to create myself, and they're things that I like and use. So it's really great to see that it's something you guys like and hope to use as well. I also had some microfiber cloths that went out. This person ordered 2 sets of 2, so I stuffed those into a bubble mailer and got that sent off as well. And then had a few more orders to do after that, but I will skip ahead and we will head back to the laundry room so I can grab Owen's laundry and get to folding that.
When you do all the things you do to me, you got me reckless. got me reckless when you say all the things you say to me.
I do like to sit down on the floor of Owen's room to fold his laundry, but when I'm baby wearing him, it makes it a little bit more difficult to sit on the floor. So I started by sorting things on the edge of his crib and making different piles, and then using the edge of his dresser to fold items, which worked just as well. Although I don't have a ton of room on top of his dresser because I have his changing pad up there and I have his diaper caddy and his wipes and his sound machine. So there's not as much space as I would like for there to be to fold laundry. But I will say it's a really nice height to stand at and fold laundry, unlike our dresser, which is way too tall for me to fold laundry on.
Got me breathless when you do all the things you do to me. You got me reckless, got me reckless when you say all the things you say to me. You got me breathless, got me breathless when you do all the things you do to me. You got me reckless, got me reckless when you say all the things you say to me.
It is just crazy how fast little Owen is already growing. We're moving through his 0 to 3 month clothing. I'm going to put that into his little bin in his closet that's for his clothing that's too small. And we're moving on to pretty much all of his 3 to 6, which is exciting because I was getting a little sick of those 0 to 3 outfits. He was rotating through them quite heavily, again, with all of that laundry he was doing. So it's fun to see him try on some new outfits and look so cute, but it is really sad that he's growing up so fast and it's hard to put those things away. I'm sure anyone who's a parent can relate to that, the excitement of their babies and their kids growing older and watching them develop and learn new skills, but also wanting to hold on to their little ones being little forever. I know we can't do that, but it just feels like time is flying by.
I'm a butterfly who has only begun, taking me a while to get it. Had to live and cry to appreciate life, and what you give is worth it. When you're holding me, when you hold me so close, I want further in under your skin. Wanna leave a mark so that I can be sure that you remember what's.
One of the last things I had on my to-do list was to get in a workout. I've really been trying to be more active and focus on my health more. Now that I'm back at work, I have a nanny here during the week. It has been a lot easier, and I know I'm lucky that I have somebody that can watch Owen and take care of him while I can take time to focus on myself. And typically my job does allow for me to sneak away for a lunch break, and I use that lunch break to exercise. During the week, it's been a lot easier to get that workout in during the lunch hour while the nanny's here. The weekends are still pretty tough. It's Jim and I, and we're both kind of trying to get a bunch of stuff done around the house, personal stuff. I have stuff for my business to get done. I want to be able to relax. I also want to spend a ton of time playing and hanging out with Owen. And though it feels overwhelming and like there's a never-ending to-do list, this is something that needs to be the top of my to-do list because it makes me feel so much better. Like I can be a more present person and a more present parent and a more present spouse when I take this time even if it's just 30 minutes, and just do a little bit of movement. So today I did a workout on my mat with some weights. It was kind of a full body workout. It had legs, arms, abs, everything. And then I did a quick walk on the treadmill as well. I almost consider the walk on the treadmill my time to relax, and same with working out too, but even more so the treadmill time, because I use that to binge watch some of my favorite shows. A trick I may have talked about before that I like to do to get myself to exercise and encourage myself to move is, if you have a favorite TV show that you like to watch, force yourself to only watch that show when you are working out. So whether that's going for a walk or a run, if you like to, if you have an exercise bike that you use, or an elliptical, or you're doing a little ab workout or something like that, even just in the floor of your living room, watch that show while you somehow move your body. And if you're like me and you have favorite shows and you really want to see that next episode, then you'll want to move your body so you can watch that next episode. Just kind of a fun thing that I like to do to encourage myself to move a little bit every day.
If only for a minute longer. So come on, baby, and hurt me. Let's see what you got. Hurt me.
Thanks for hanging out for another productive Saturday together. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Give it a thumbs up if you did. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And until next time, I will see you guys later.